welcome to House of the Dragon. Currently my favorite show airing right now. I think the writing is fantastic so far. It's been very true to the book Fire and Blood. The acting is great, the visuals are great. Like, this is my show right now. As much as I love the Game of Thrones theme song, I'm a little disappointed we didn't get a new one for this show. I'm so tired of childbirth, man. I realize that's a big thing in the book, but like, ugh. Ew, the noises, oh my god. Oh, stop, please. Oh, God. They did not have to make the sounds like this. They did not. So is this her, second or her third child? Ew. Ew.
The Queen has requested that the child be brought to her. Immediately.
Are you serious?
I'll take him myself.
You should remain a bed princess.
Yes, I should.
I like that she made that clear, too. She's like, yeah, I really should be laying in bed. I want to.
Ooh.
But if this bitch wants me to come over right this very second, alright, let's go. Ugh. I am very thankful they didn't show it all, but the sounds make it just as bad, in my opinion. Ugh.
Was it terribly painful?
Yes.
I took a lance through the shoulder once.
My deepest sympathies.
I do really like Laenor. It seems like he's trying.
You should be resting after your labors.
Oh, fuck you.
I do believe he has his father's nose.
You are really reaching there, man.
I do hope the labor was easy.
It wasn't.
I think I called the midwife a cunt.
Sooner or later, you may get one who looks like you.
Ooh, I have some choice words for you. Oh, I don't hate Allison. I think where she's coming from, it does make sense. But like, oh my gosh, I also can't stand her at the same time. Oh, I didn't notice the trail of blood. That's fun.
Of course.
Laenor must know. He must know that he's the actual father. I get the feeling that everyone kind of knows.
Sleep in front of the commander of the city watch. Terrible lack of respect.
Whose dragon is this? Is this Sunfire? Dreamfire? Well, it's definitely not Sunfire. You assholes. A massive pig, oh my god.
The pink dread.
The pink dread.
Be sure to
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you. Alright, well, again, I know what all of these kids do in the future of their lives. Let's just say I don't feel too bad about Aemond getting shit on right here.
And 2 pairs of legs on each.
Ooh, ew.
That's 240. It is beyond our understanding.
I suppose you're right.
Well, she's kind of weird.
Star. You will have a dragon one day.
He'll have to close an eye.
I know it.
Oh, good foreshadowing right there. He'll have to close an eye. Wait, does that mean she can kind of see the future or something? Is she one of the Targaryens that can dream prophecy?
To have one child like that is a mistake. To have 3 is an insult. And the match you battled so hard to make for her.
It sort of is. She's not wrong. Like 3 bastard children. That's kind of an insult.
Black like a raven.
I love you, Patty Constantine, but you are a nasty looking old man. Sorry.
And the king, her father.
He knows.
Of course he knows.
Damn, he knows.
A spider who stings and sucks her prey dry.
Shut up, Kristen. She tried to be cool with you. Fuck off. Just because she didn't want to run off to Essos with you. I wouldn't either.
Beneath me, Your Grace, I apologize.
That in the end, honor and decency will prevail.
That's funny. Excuse me? Sir, what are you doing? The fuck was that?
Was it your plot?
Are you not going to comment on that at all, Allison?
It was Jace.
Aemond is your brother.
Oh, he's a twat.
We are family. She can move to cut off any challenge to her succession.
Then I won't.
You are the challenge! You are the challenge,
Damn.
Egon! Simply by living and breathing! Get dressed.
Alicent, you're like making the conflict happen. She's not wrong. Like, if Rhaenyra takes power, there is a good chance that all of Alicent's kids will just be killed. Ah, Caraxes. Such a weird looking dragon, I love him. Yes, yes! Oh, I've wanted to see Vhagar for so fucking long. How did he even survive that? I know a lot of people have the misconception that Targaryens are fireproof, but that's not the case.
We flew to our aid in Lys and
Is this
burned the fleet
Pentos?
of enemy ships, thus turning the tide.
It's a most generous offer. And one we will certainly entertain.
Really?
Scheming. The endless shifting of loyalties in succession is none of ours.
It does seem nice, but I know that's not what you want.
At my end, I want to die a dragon rider's death. Not that of some fat country lord.
Fair enough. Lena has always been a very, very cool character. And as creepy as it was, all the problems that would have been solved by Viserys marrying her instead of Alicent, like, good lord. That would have solved so much shit.
You'll certainly form a lifelong bond, wouldn't you agree?
That is the hope, Your Grace.
They say that decision is what caused the rivalries to fester.
Prince, you'll get knocked down. Let's see if you can touch me.
Oh.
You and your brother.
Too easy.
Eldest son against eldest son. Foul play. Use your feet! You dare put hands on me! They're gone!
Yep.
You forget yourself, Strong. That is the prince.
Oh, really?
Cruelty. Or a brother.
Beat his ass. Beat his ass.
Or a son.
Fuck him up. Now don't stop. I literally do exactly what he did to Joffrey. I don't give a fuck.
Let him be bathed with a cloak.
Ooh, hate Kristen Cole so much. So she still likes to take her secret passage. I kind of like that they continue on with that.
Don't play the fool with me, boy.
Yeah, like everyone knows, man. But that's why it's so frustrating. Everyone's like, "You're exposing us." I'm like, dude, everyone already knows.
And death for you.
Who is singing so loudly? Ow. Hey, what's up, Laenor?
Who dyes his beard purple and wears women's frocks.
That does sound like a Tyroshi. Dario was supposed to have, like, a purple beard and bells in his hair and all that.
Questions about our son's parentage.
Well, Rhaenyra, no offense, but whose fault is that exactly? Not Laenor's. I mean, I guess it sort of is.
They are our sons. This was our agreement. I have not begrudged you.
True.
But you do not desert your post when the storm lashes.
The wise.
Fair point, Rhaenyra.
As it gathers.
He wants you and father. And Baelor. Because you have dragons.
Aww.
He's doing his best.
He's not very good at the whole father romance love thing. He's kind of a huge piece of shit, but a lot of us love him for it.
This one also bears a marked but entirely coincidental resemblance to the commander of the city watch.
Shut up, Damon.
He seems to have left that detail out.
The man I married was more than this.
Interesting.
It is Lord Blackwood's contention.
'Cause he's saying he wants to, like, leave it all behind, but like she said, he spends all his time reading about the Dragon Riders, thinks about all this shit. There's no way he wants to let it go.
If we may move on, my lords.
And yet, the Brackens and the Blackwoods will use any excuse to spill each other's blood.
That is easy enough.
I'm kind of with Rhaenyra on that one. Fuck you, Alicent. She's right.
Once.
That was a decade ago, and he has since left the region undefended.
We have left it
I was
undefended.
gonna say, you kind of all left it undefended.
Fortifications built. But we have been lax, and the old monster now lifts its head.
I think Rhaenyra's right. You can't just kill a bunch of pirates and then leave it undefended and expect the problem to get solved.
My son, Jacaerys, will inherit the Iron Throne after me. I propose we betroth him to your daughter, Helena.
Oh.
Ally ourselves. Once and for all.
That also would
Let them rule
solve
together.
so many problems.
A most judicious proposition.
If Cyrax brings forth another clutch of eggs, your son, Aemond, will have his choice of them. A symbol of our goodwill.
Come on, Allison. She's being really, really nice about it. Ugh.
Oh,
Perfect timing.
The king and I thank you for your offer, and we will consider it duly.
No,
you must rest now, husband.
Come on, Allison. Like, that really is a perfect solution to all this. But again, I know she doesn't want to do it because to her it's an insult. Like, you're gonna have your bastard son marry my true-born daughter. Get the fuck out of my face.
She is sincere.
When I am cold in my grave.
Damn.
Alice.
Whatever. Fine. You want to keep this conflict going? You want war? Well, you know, spoilers. You're gonna get it.
The episode in the yard this morning, my son Harwin has disgraced himself, and every fishwife in King's Landing will soon be telling the tale.
Kristen Cole murdered someone brutally at a wedding. That was also incredibly illegal, but because he's the Queen's little
Tenner's hand
boy toy, then obviously it
Your
didn't
advice
happen.
has been sage, unmarked by self-interest.
And will be Lord of Harren's castle one day. It is time he assumed his duties there.
Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but going to Harrenhal? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What was that look that she just gave her? Did anyone else find that, like, really creepy? The look that that serving girl just gave Allison? That was weird.
It's a willful blindness. The king.
It is.
You'd surely suffer the same affliction if it came to
I
it.
would not.
You would.
Still a hand.
You cannot say, my queen, that your father would be impartial in this matter.
No, but he would be partial to me.
Now, so that's all you want? You're just like, everyone's on Rhaenyra's side. This sucks. Like, well, Rhaenyra's not as much of a uptight asshole. I don't know what to tell you.
I am prepared to offer you mercy. If you're prepared to pay a little price.
Oh, God. Oh, what price are you talking about? No, what are you doing? No, not the tongue, not the tongue, not the tongue. No. No! No. Please, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Ugh. I'll take death. I'll take death. Thank you. I will be hanged. No, thank you. No, we're gonna follow that with this. Ugh. Oh, no. Oh, wow, this is right out of the book. When she's dying, she went out to try and ride her dragon one last time.
Dracarys!
Oh. That's different. Oh, she doesn't want to do it. Oh, that's actually really sad, dude.
Lena!
That actually gets me a little emotional. I don't know why. I wasn't, like, super attached to her character, but I guess it's just the fact that she had Vhagar do it for her. It's very sad.
Is Harwin strong, my father?
Oh. Wow.
You are a Targaryen. That's all that matters.
Oh, you didn't even say no. You basically said, kind of, but you're a Targaryen. Don't worry about it. Wait, are they implying that Larys is the one who did this? I guess not even implying. They're straight up saying, yeah, he's the one who did this. That was never confirmed in the book as to, you know, who started this fire. Come on, your Harwin breakbones. Get that door open. Larys is the one who did it? He killed his own father and brother? Harrenhal is such a cursed place, dude. Like, there is no shortcoming of tragedies that this place has had.
Surrender what you should not.
Ugh.
It is said to be a cursed place.
Very.
That it passes judgment on all who pass beneath its gates. The Queen makes a wish.
She didn't say to kill them.
What servant of the realm would not strive to fulfill it?
I did not wish for this.
I feel certain you will reward me. When the time is right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's scary as fuck, actually. I thought you were a tool in the Queen's belt, but the Queen is a tool in your belt, it seems like. Ugh. Oh, that was so good, dude. Like, that was such a good episode. Maybe my favorite of the season so far. So what can I say? The show it gets better and better and better. Every episode has continuously built up the tension between, the rivals of Rhaenyra and Alicent, and so much more beyond that. And it's just getting more and more tense, more towards the tipping point when there is no turning back. I mean, I suppose we've already kind of passed that. I think when Rhaenyra lied to Alicent about having sex that night, I think that was the tipping point. I could never really come back from that, which is unfortunate. Because Rhaenyra's offered to Alicent, let's marry our kids. We'll deal with all this. I'll even give you some dragon eggs for Aemond. Like, she truly offered quite the olive branch there. She really did. She tried. But I don't think Alicent is wrong either when she says, it wasn't really kindness, it was more desperation, because she knows things are not really going in a friendly way for anybody anymore. And then to end the episode with him and his father's death at Harrenhal, very good, very good. And I can't believe it was Larys. I can't believe that. Like, in the books, it was rumored, like, it could have been Viserys who did it, it could have been Larys, it could have been, who was the other, main... I know there was at least one more person that people were like, it could have been this person. But I like that, and at the end of the day, it was Larys. Such a great Littlefinger, Varys-ish type of character. I love, political snakes in stories like this, because you just can't trust them. You never know what they're gonna do next. And what he said there at the end too, when Alicent's like, I did not wish for you to do this, he said, oh, but you did, and I'm sure you're gonna reward me for it here very soon. Like, he kind of scares the shit out of me. All the kids now growing up and starting to take their roles in the story is very exciting. Aemond is not at all how I remember them describing him in the book. Maybe it's because he's so young right here and he grows more into that personality later, but in the book he's like super hot-headed and a wild child, does like the dumbest, craziest shit all the time. And I don't recall Aegon being described as like, I almost said an emo kid, but in a way he kind of is. He's just he doesn't really care about the throne or anything serious. He just wants to pick on his brother and, just be a teenager. He's like flirting with the serving girls as they pass by him. And again, I don't remember them describing him as such in the book, but I like the way they're portraying the characters, at least so far. I like Laenor and Rhaenyra's arrangement that they have, even though they clearly are within some conflict. They, for the most part, they got each other's backs. Oh yeah, and I can't forget Helena. She was only in the episode for a second, but interesting choice that she's like a bug collector. I don't think that was ever a thing in the book either, but I kind of like it. It makes her very strange. Honestly, it makes all of Alicent's kids like super weird. They're all just, they're on something else, which I think will play into how this whole story goes down later on. Laena was a great character, and I actually like that they changed it from her just dying in the birthing bed to her going out to her dragon and telling Vhagar to kill her. I thought it was a very emotional moment. I appreciate that she did die a dragon rider's death like she said she wanted to. Kristen Cole is, just fucking asshole. Oh my god, do I hate him. Again, I knew I was going to. Because I read the book, I knew the second he showed up, like, don't fall for this shit. He is not a good guy. He is a real piece of shit. And his reasons for hating Rhaenyra are somewhat understandable, I admit. But he is such an asshole. Again, if you don't believe me yet, you fucking will, I promise. Honestly, I'm just in a good mood right now. This is such a good show, and every episode has managed to impress me. Obviously, there's been a couple things here or there where I'm like, I didn't really like that, or that could have been better. But for the most part, this is a damn solid show, and I am so thankful for it because, to be honest, there's a lot of entertainment right now that has been super lackluster. Let's go ahead and jump into the technicals. Writing of the episode, I think it's so damn good. Every little piece put into place in the previous episodes are all being followed up and built on and turned into even more serious issues for all these characters. They used the time jump really effectively. It wasn't a super confusing jump in time, even though I think it was like 10 years. The characters all felt like they naturally progressed from where they were to where they are now. And for once, in a show that I'm watching, almost every single character makes a decision that is either incredibly intelligent and is not a surefire, but a smart way to deal with your political mess, or they make a terrible decision based off of reasonable, emotional, or personal reasons. Like, again, in the book, it's never confirmed that Larys is the one to have started the fire at Harrenhal, but I think confirming it just makes perfect sense. He's a complete snake. He never really gave a shit about his dad or his brother because they were so dramatically different than him. And he saw a prime opportunity to not only help, but very much blackmail the queen into being his best friend and damaging, Rhaenyra and all that in the process. Like, he made such a sly decision. I love it. And Rhaenyra going to Dragonstone, again, it's like, is that a smart decision, or is that you just trying to avoid all the conflict at court? Maybe that's a terrible decision. I like that they don't 100% ever say this is right, that is wrong. There's always the gray area on this show with every character. And that goes for good and evil as well. I hate Alicent, but I don't think she is an evil, bad person. I think she does some really shitty bad things, but so does Rhaenyra. Alicent, at the end of the day, is trying to save her own life and her children's lives. And to do that, she is stoking the fire. She's telling Aegon, you need to get serious about this. You are taking that fucking throne. If you don't, you're dead. I'm dead. Your brother and your sister are dead. You have to do this. Again, there's no conflict on this show simply for the sake of conflict just because someone's a dick. There is always a reason for it, and a reason why people do the things they do. And as much as I enjoyed the stuff in Pentos with Daemon and Laena, I do think the pacing in some of those scenes could have been a little bit more rapid. There were a few spots in there where I was like, come on, hurry it up. I'm not getting bored, but I'm getting a little close to it. So because of that, I'll do a 9 out of 10. I don't think it was perfect, but I think it was very, very, very good. Editing of the episode, fantastic. Again, the editor on this show, I don't know if it's the same one from Game of Thrones actually, but they have a real knack for mixing slow-paced and fast-paced editing in order to really set the tone or the vibe of the scene. Like the editing with the scenes of Daemon and Laena, very slow-paced, methodical edits. But the edits during the training scene with Kristen and all the kids, that uses a good mixture of very slow cuts and very fast cuts depending on what the action of the scene is. And all the intercutting there towards the end between the fire at Harrenhal, Larys talking about the importance of children and Rhaenyra and her whole family going off to Dragonstone. That's so good. Because again, it not only builds the tension just by intercutting period, but just showing how each of those stories is playing off one another to create this tension. Like, it's so good, dude. But like I said, I think some of the Pentos scenes could have been spiced up just a little bit. And the editing could have helped in those scenarios, but they did choose to stick to the very slow, methodical edits. So I'll do a 9 out of 10. Cinematography, you gotta be kidding me. The cinematography on this show is so good. The opening scene, how it's almost all just one long one take. Very stylized, very well planned out, and like it was great. The lighting of the show, they use cool and warm lights in such a naturalistic but stylized and fantastic looking way. Most shots, the way they're framed or the way they've lit the scene with all like the smoke in the room and everything, it almost always looks like a painting come to life. It's truly fantastic, the cinematography they do on this show. 10 out of 10. Acting, again, are you kidding me? These actors are serving every single episode. And considering these are totally new actors to replace the characters we already know, they had some big shoes to fill, specifically for Rhaenyra and Alicent. And I think both of them did fantastic. They both still feel like themselves, just older after much time has passed and many wounds have been left to fester. I think the shining star in at least this season is Paddy Considine as Viserys. He's playing such a... I want to call him an idiot, but he's not. He is a smart guy. He just refuses to act on the problems that he sees. He wants so badly for things to just be okay. And to see him play that sort of innocence, but at the same time very intelligent, while trying to please other people, but still being very frustrated by the situation that he's in, his own health. He's doing such a good job, dude. Even Matt Smith, who I'm not like a huge fan of in terms of his acting, I think he plays the character of Daemon perfectly. Honestly, I think I have to do another 10 out of 10 because the acting on this show has yet to displease me. Costumes and makeup, again, this show is leagues ahead of a lot of other stuff. The costumes are gorgeous and they do fit either the environment or the character or the house of that character. I love how Alicent's kids were dressed in green during the training while Rhaenyra's kids were wearing black and red. Daemon's costume, his, Pentoshi, super elegant tunic and everything. It doesn't suit him at all, but I think that's the point. Like, he is very out of place here in Pentos. This is not where he's meant to be. And goddamn, Alicent's dress that she wore in this episode, holy shit, you look good, girl. The only slight dip in quality that I can really make note of is the fact that some of the characters, since they weren't recast after the 10-year jump, they simply just don't look old enough. Like, I forget his name, Tyland Lannister, on the Small Council. He looks pretty much the exact same as he did in the previous episode. Like, same haircut, same look, no extra wrinkles or anything. But there are plenty of characters that did get a good treatment, I think. Like, I think Kristen Cole, it makes sense after 10 years he would look pretty much the same, just, new haircut, new look. So I think it was quite good. It's just there were a few characters like Tyland or, like, honestly, Daemon. They just don't look old enough. Like, you should be getting into your 30s, late 40s here pretty soon. You should start to look a little bit older than you do. But I realize it's a pretty difficult thing to do considering how much time passes on this show compared to, like, any other one. I'll do another 9 out of 10. I think slight little things could have been improved, but for the most part, fantastic. Set design is another one where, like, this show has so many other shows completely beat out. The sets that they do make are massive, they look super authentic, and they also really elicit the same feeling that you got in Game of Thrones. That's one of my big issues with Rings of Power. Like, a lot of it looks really great, it just doesn't feel or look like The Lord of the Rings. And here I do not have that problem at all. It 100% has put me back in, the same world. I realize it might be a bit easier considering some of these places are reused sets that have just been changed a little bit to fit the time difference. But I think they could have easily ran into the same problem that Rings of Power does. And they have not. So 10 out of 10. Visual effects. Honestly, the visual effects on the show are very, very good. There are some times, though, that I wish they could have maybe had a bit more time or a bit more money on certain things. Like, I thought Viramax for Jace, there were some CGI shots there that looked kind of fake. Not so much so where I'm like, oh my gosh, that totally took me out of the moment. But just enough where I know for a fact, like, okay, I'm looking at a CGI dragon. It's not real. That being said, I thought the CGI on Vhagar was fantastic. Like, Vhagar looks so good. That is a damn cool looking she-dragon. So I'll do an 8 out of 10. A little bit of room for improvement, but my oh my, is it very good to look at. And finally, the sound design. This is where the show does drop just a teeny bit for me. I think the sound design in general is very, very good, like most other aspects of the show. Like, oh god, that opening scene with the birth, just the noises. Ugh. They did a very good job right there. I'm very displeased with how good of a job they did. And I love the themes and the new music that they've created for the show. But it does bother me how they reuse some of the themes and main bits of the score from the original show. I realize it's used to elicit the same feeling, it's to kind of put you in that world. But I think the music should have been a bit more unique. In some cases it is. I think Rhaenyra's theme music is very cool and is different. It's similar to some of the stuff we heard for Daenerys, but it's not the same song being used. But just the fact that the opening theme song for the show during the intro is the exact same theme song as Game of Thrones, that stuff bothers me. I realize what they're doing. I know why they did it. I think it was a bad choice, though. I think they definitely should have come up with more new sounds for the show. It sounds like I'm being harsh. I would like to clarify. I think the sound design on the show is very good. It's just a little frustrating whenever I hear something get reused. So I'll do another 8 out of 10. And that gives this episode a 9.1 out of 10, which, considering how much I enjoyed the episode, I feel inclined to give it just a straight up 10 out of 10. But I realize it was not perfect. I think a 9.1 is more accurate. Honestly, out of all the shows I'm watching right now, I'm watching Andor, She-Hulk, Rings of Power, and this to me is just the best written. It's the most enjoyable. It's the most engaging story. It has the most interesting characters. It is for sure, in my opinion, the leading show on television right now. I'm sure there's something else that's airing that I'm not watching that someone's going to be like, oh, actually, this is way better. And maybe it is, but out of what I'm watching, this is top quality shit. So I'm very excited for that next one, and I will see you all there. That's about it.